our metal prints and our acrylics are really part of almost the same family. So what I have here with my right hand is a metal print, and on my left is an acrylic print. We're going to talk about these individually. Their backing options are pretty much the same. Let's start with this metal print here. Metal print is literally 1/16 inch thick aluminum, and it's a dye sublimation process that's going to transfer onto this panel. You're going to have a couple of different bases with it, and then 3 different finishes with it. So this is the white base, and the white base is going to be akin to, so let's say, a photo paper. Whites are going to be white. Just a characteristic of the metal print, period, is that the colors are always going to pop. Very vibrant, and they're going to make a big impact.
And Robert, if someone's new, like the most popular one that we would always tell them to choose is the white base high gloss.
White base high gloss, absolutely the most popular. There is a clear base. That clear base is going to let that metal show through a little bit more, and you're going to start to see some of that sort of silvery background come through. So that's really a kind of a taster's choice right there. But the most popular, always that white base and that high gloss. With this white base though, you got a few different finishes. You can do a high gloss, you can do a matte. That's what this is, really gonna knock down that reflective glare. The high gloss does have, wouldn't you say, it's the most impactful.
Yes.
Right?
Yep,
but you gotta think about display environment. Right.
Yeah.
So if it's facing a bay of windows, you're gonna be looking a lot at those bay of windows. And then there's a semi-gloss, right, to sit in between them. Now, let's talk about hanging.
Yeah.
Shall we? So this is going to be exactly the same for the acrylic prints. Of course, you can get a panel all by itself if you want to just easel display that. And what we have here is the 3/4 inch float mount. So this is basically 3/4 inches of gator board, super lightweight, perfectly rigid material, and then the same brushed aluminum with the sawtooth hanger. And they're going to adapt this according to the size of the print. Now you'll notice that this is inside the edge. So when this is hanging on the wall, it looks like it floats. So that's why they call it a float mount. That's pretty cool. We do have another option. I don't know if we have it around here. It is called an inset metal frame.
Right there, yeah.
Here it is. Thank you so much. And the inset metal frame is just what it sounds like. People get a little confused about the word frame. It is only about the backing here. The inset metal frame is going to be 1 5/16 inches thick. So about 1.25 inches versus 3/4 of an inch for the float mount. Built inside of that is going to be a wire hanger. So again, this is just going to be the choice of what you're comfortable with for hanging, whether you want to do that float mount with the sawtooth hangers, or do you want that wire hanger inside. Again, inset metal frame, smaller than the product looks like it floats.
And Robert, looks like we actually got a question in asking, how does metal prints compare to metallic photo paper?
That's a great question. How does a metal print compare to metallic photo paper? Now, metallic photo paper, is kind of a great option if you want to approximate this, right? And that's going to have kind of a glossy finish. It's going to have that sort of metallic kind of base to it, depending on the angle of view, right? But it is kind of apples and oranges. You'd have to mount that. Honestly, it's not going to have the presence of a metal print. The metal prints are really impactful, really cool, and very unique off the wall. You know, if I had to look at one to choose one, and I'm talking about wall, unless I'm going to do an actual framed print, I'm going to go with the metal.
Yep, no, I agree. And I think too, you kind of brought up like with the metallic photo print, you still have to finish it. So you'd have to frame it, put it somewhere, like it's not a finished product, where the metal print is an actual finished product that you would hang on the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. So what Kristina has here is actually now one of our acrylic prints. I'm in love with acrylic prints because let's talk about how they're made first. So there's going to be a 1/4 inch acrylic right here. You're going to have your glossy print, which is going to be between that and black styrene. Of course, you can get it just like this, like the metal print, or you have those same hanging options, right? The inset metal frame or the 3/4 inch float mount works for this too. The beautiful thing about these is just the way they kind of pull in light and send it back out to you. There's just a certain depth and a certain just pop that happens with these things. I just think they're absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah,
and honestly, the larger the size, no kidding, really, the more they impact. I just love these. Really, really beautiful. So consider those as well. Kind of in the same family, but this is, again, two contemporary sort of finishes to think about
And
here.
all these products that Robert's showing too can go really large and custom up 30, 40, any size, wall size.
That's a great point. They go very large. I mean, you can go to a 40, 60, like Kristina said, and if you're considering it, well, my client has a wall, they need a special size, that's okay. We can custom create that for you. Just let us know. We'll get a quote going and get you set up with that custom size. And as I mentioned before, you can float frame almost anything, right? So this is a metal print that's float framed in here. So consider that as well as a way to kind of finish off your displays.
Thank you for joining White House Custom Color on YouTube. Make sure and check out the information below and click here to subscribe.